What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Switch Podcast, man. I am your host, Q1 Humphreys, and y'all see what I got on, man. I got on my Trae Young Ice Trae jersey. You know, this is a very rare occasion because it's not often that I can get on here and get in front of this camera and talk about my Atlanta Hawks, because most times we not really doing nothing worth mentioning. But right now, you know, I don't think it's a stretch to say that we're the hottest team in the league. You know what I'm saying? A little 5-game win streak. Got a couple wins against some really good teams. And we currently have a 12-1 record, looking like I said, the hottest team in the league. 5-game win streak. I'm repeating myself, but I'm excited. You got to understand. You got to feel my excitement through the camera, man. But we currently have the second longest current active winning streak in the league, behind the Dallas Mavericks, who just won their 6th game in a row last night. But over the course of our 5-game wins, we have 2 wins against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we have a win against the Milwaukee Bucks in our last game. Now, I think our play this year has not just been this 5 games. This is by far the best we've played so far this season, but we have a couple of good wins as well. We also have a win against the New York Knicks earlier in the season in Atlanta, and we also have a win against the Boston Celtics earlier in the season in Atlanta. So the Atlanta Hawks, you know, I like to say we are the most pretending contenders, or the most contending pretenders. We're one of the best bad teams in the NBA. And we might be becoming a good team. We're going to look at how we played over these last 5 games and how the team looks kind of different than how I expected and how many others expected them to be coming into the season. But it starts at the head. Trae Young, Ice Trae the gang. Now, I made a video. I don't know how many of y'all watched that first episode of the Switch-a-thon that I started back a couple months back. But my first video was on the Atlanta Hawks, and I talked about how Trae Young is back being the main ball handler. He's the only point guard we got, and how that is going to be just the beginning of, you know, pretty much everything. You know, the same way we went to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021 with Trae Young being the guy and everyone else just playing around him, that we're going to see that same kind of play this year. But that really has not been the case. And in big part has been due to Trae Young's health. Trae Young is currently dealing with a Achilles tendonitis, so he really can't score as well as he's been scoring the past couple of seasons. Now, by no means, I would say he's having a pretty good beginning to this season this year, but it's not the 29-9, 30-10 that we've been seeing the past couple of years. Really been seeing all of Trae Young's career. This isn't the same numbers. We're seeing now a 20.7 points per game, along with a league high, career high 12 assists per game as well. And the thing with that is, with Trae, for me, the best thing about Trae is his confidence. And the most tough, frustrating thing about Trae is his confidence. Because, you know, the thing with confidence is a double-edged sword. When you're hitting shots, it's like, oh, this guy got some kahunas on him. And when he's missing those tough shots, it's like, man, why did he shoot that? And I think this year, we're starting to see Trae, he's kind of trying to tone that down just a little bit. He's looking a lot more for his teammates, and as I'm going to go into later in this video, that is turned out to be just really, really good for not just Trae Young, making life easier for him, but ultimately leading to more wins that you would not expect us to get with the current roster we have constructed. But the next big thing with the Hawks is the development and the elevation in play from their role guys, starting with Jalen Johnson. I know I said it a couple months ago on the Switch-a-thon episode 1. Jalen Johnson made a jump last season, but he was primed and ready for an even bigger jump this season. And so far through these first 23 games, we have seen just that. Jalen Johnson averaging 20.1 points per game, 9.9 rebounds a game, and 5.5 assists. So you round everything up, he's averaging 20, 10, and 6, which is really, really good. And that's numbers that we have not seen in a very long time from the forward position of the Atlanta Hawks. I'm talking way back when we had Paul Millsap. And I don't even think Paul Millsap averaged 20 and 10. Never. You know, Al Horford might have averaged a double-double back in the day, but I don't know if it was a 20 and 10. And to see Jalen Johnson doing this year as really a secondary playmaker, secondary facilitator on this team behind Trae Young, it's been an absolute sight to see. I think he's the front runner for most improved player. I think unless he falls off, that award should be given to him. It should be a no-brainer, because the way he's playing right now, he's really good every single night. And you know, and the way the media looks at the Hawks, he may get the All-Star nod over Trae Young. Trae Young is still the best player on this team, but the way the media looks at Trae Young and the way the league looks at Trae Young, they're not really fond of him. But they look at Jalen Johnson, they say, okay, we can mess with this guy. And we might see that very well coming in the upcoming months with, the All-Star news and everything coming out. But I hope we got to at least send somebody to the All-Star game. You know what I'm saying? We got too much talent. Well, Trae Young and Jalen Johnson are too good to not be in the All-Star game. But moving on from Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, the Great Barrier Thief, probably the best nickname in the NBA. He has been a revelation for this Hawks team. When we made that trade, and I'm going to talk about that trade later now. We made that trade to trade away DeJounte Murray and bring in a package that included Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance among 2 first-round draft picks and a couple other players that were added in later. I said, okay, Dyson Daniels, okay, I like him. He did good in the Olympics. He's a defender. I like it. He's very young. He has a good upside. Cool. But I did not think he was going to be this good. Defensively, this man is a problem. He's a problem, and he better be first team off defense too. He better be. I don't want to see no more of that 5 center mess on the first team. Dyson Daniels need to be first team on defense, averaging a league high 3 steals per game. There was a stat that came out last week or a couple weeks ago. It said Dyson Daniels currently he's on pace for 600 deflections on the season, and they said the NBA record was 300, and that was like week 2, week 3 of the NBA season. Look at how you playing, man. And the thing with Dyson Daniels, when you got a guy that's gonna play defense like that, it makes everybody else want to play defense. And that's a big thing for the Hawks, as their defensive rating is currently 15th, dead in the middle in the NBA, which you would think is not that good. But last year we were 26. So to be that high coming from where you came from last year, being 26th, bro, I'm taking it. I'm taking being middle of the pack. When you know what I'm saying, the thing with life is like, I'm so excited, y'all. The thing with life is like, when you've been so bad at something, average seems like the best thing ever, and that's how it is with the Hawks defense. Not to mention Clint Capella. Clint Capella has gotten back to being prime Clint Capella. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 14 rebounds per game. If you look back to the run the Hawks went on in 2021, Clint Capella's presence in the middle was a big part of that. He was an elite lob threat, elite roll threat for Trae Young on his alley-oops, and he dominated the glass, gobbling every single basketball that came off of the rim or off the backboard. I also want to issue an early season apology. You know what? I ain't even going to apologize. I'm just going to say it. DeAndre Hunter, I was calling for him to be off of my team. I said, trade this man. He hasn't been that good in years. But the way he's played since he came back from injury, I take it all back. I take it all back, DeAndre. Averaging 18.7 points per game. He's taking on the 6-man role for the team, and he's flourished. He's flourished, man. I'm so proud of him and how he's played. He not going to see this. But DeAndre, if you see this, I'm happy you hooping like this, man. Keep going. Keep doing this. If you keep playing this, I'm going to say, give him his money. if he's going to keep averaging 18 points a game, give him his money, bro. Because he going to do it on both ends. We drafted him 4th overall a couple years ago. Well, yeah, a couple years ago. We drafted him 4th overall to be this 2-way star. If he can continue to develop into that, it will be perfect, man. Not to mention Zachary Richey, number 1 overall pick from this past season. He's starting to mesh. He's back. He's into the starting role now. But like I said, with DeAndre moving to the bench, and he's starting to mesh, starting to figure out where he fits in with this whole team and his offense and all that. I'm loving it. Of course, Bogey coming back from injury, double O on the bench. So we got a decent amount of depth. But another thing with the Hawks is like, they're playing as a team. They're playing as a team, my man. And it's not even like just defense. Offensively, Trae Young has a career low in usage rate this year at 26.9%. What is usage rate? Usage rate is how much you have the ball in your hands. So Trae Young's usage rate is at a career low. And Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, and DeAndre Hunter's are having career highs in their usage rate. So Trae Young is letting them cook. He's saying, here, you know what I'm saying? He's learning. He's learning that, okay, maybe my 30 and 10 is not as good if my other guys got 4-5 points on 7 shots. Maybe my 20 and 12 will be better if this guy got 18, if this guy got 20, if this guy got 15, if this guy got 8, if this guy got 10. And he's learning that. It looks beautiful on court. It looks beautiful on my television watching the Hawks play, man. And I'm very, very, very excited for what is next for this team, man. But I got to do it, y'all. I got to talk about this trade. Because I stood on my soapboxes off season. I was telling everybody, I said, hey, I understand what y'all seen from DeJounte this season. He was playing great. But I'm not giving up on Trae Young just yet. This is a guy that's averaged almost 30 and 10 for his whole career with us. He led us to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not sure if DeJounte can do that. I'm not sure DeJounte can do that. DeJounte defense is way better than Trae's. But I think Trae Young's offense is a good bit better than DeJounte Murray's. And if you look at the struggles that he's had in New Orleans right now, one might agree. One might agree, man. You know, now I'm not gonna sit here and bash DeJounte like he hasn't been injured, because he missed a lot of time with a broken hand this season. So maybe when he gets going, he'll get back to being DeJounte Murray. But the way we're playing right now, I don't think it's possible without a floor general that's gonna average 12 assists a game. You know, I don't think that's who DeJounte is. DeJounte, he's really good, but I don't think he's this floor general. This Steve Nash type player that Trae Young is. You know, and maybe Steve Nash. Maybe I'm kind of disrespecting Steve Nash. But that's what I see when I see Trae Young. I see Steve Nash that can shoot from far. I never saw Steph Curry. I never did. Steve Nash that can shoot from very far. And once Trae leaned into that Steve Nash of let my other guys get involved, let me run around the court and dime everybody up, that is when the Hawks were going to be more successful. And we're seeing that right now through these first 23 games. Now, I ain't even mentioned that we won a group. We won a group for the NBA Cup. We're going to Madison Square Garden I think in 2 weeks to face off against the New York Knicks. Winner of that game goes to Vegas to play for the NBA Cup. Viva Las Vegas. Let's go and beat these Knicks again, Hawks, and let's get it done. Let's go put a banner. If the Lakers can put a banner in their stadium for the in-season tournament, so can we. Let's go get a banner, Hawks. Let's go do it. Let's get it. Let's go. Go Hawks. I'm done, y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share with y'all folks, man. Until next time, we out of here. Yeah.